It's the KAIEN Show. KAIEN teachers describing Western customs, social habits, and Western culture. Hi everyone and welcome to another KAIEN Show. My name is Cliff and today we're joined with Chess. Chess, where are you from?
South Florida, which is the southeastern United States.
All right, from the U.S. And we've got a bunch of questions for you. Let's go to the first one. So, Chess, what do you when you first arrived in China? What were some of the things that you found most different about your hometown?
It's a good question. I would say there's probably three things that stand out the most.
Okay.
First was just the transportation here. South Florida, we don't have subways, we don't have metros. You would think so, but that's New York City and LA. But Shanghai, just so many lines, so many modes of transportation, buses every hour, every half hour. The traffic, you can always have a cab, find a cab, need a cab, you can call a cab.
Except when it's raining.
Except for when it's raining. Yeah, just the traffic, the people walking, I mean, it seems like a very healthy lifestyle, you know. Secondly, I would say the amount of wealth that's concentrated in Shanghai, you know, you just did not expect to see it so modern and you know how crowded it is and how international the city is. People from all over, I mean, not just Europe, but throughout Asia, Africa. I've even met people from South America. Didn't expect that.
Cool.
And thirdly, you can't deny the food. The food is just really different. Chinese food in America is so-so.
It is.
Yeah, so to come here and actually find out there's a difference in Chinese food and that you don't have to order kung pao chicken every time.
Right, and it's good too.
And it's delicious, yeah.
And it is,
so
yeah.
I think those are probably the three most
So transportation, just the
international, the how Western, how developed, and then thirdly just the foods.
Wow.
You know, the delicious food.
Okay.
Excellent presentation.
Great. All right. Well, that sounds really sounds very similar to my feelings. So we'll go to the next question. What are your impressions of Shanghai?
Shanghai in particular. I think you just can't deny when you come into Shanghai and just see how enormous and how vast the skyscrapers are. Just really had no idea. I don't think even a picture could prepare you for it. You know, it just seems really modern, even more so than many Western cities I've been to. The other, and after that, you know, after that impression, then you start to see the old Shanghai, and you really kind of see, wow, you know, it's like one world. It's actually two worlds in one city, you know, and you know, you have the old buildings, you have the street vendors, the rickshaws, which makes the city very interesting. And yet at the same time, you can see, you know, the high-power businessman and woman, you know.
Different than South Florida, huh?
Yeah, well, the demographics is very different, but you know, the extremes are still there in South Florida. But for Shanghai, you know, as a first-time traveler, visitor, you know, you just don't know what to expect. But you know, the international, how diverse the city is really my first impression. I was fascinated.
Great. So let me ask you this: you like Chinese food?
Absolutely.
Okay. You're a big fan, huh?
I'm a big fan. I've even tried to learn to cook a couple dishes before I return. Yes.
Are they any good?
I don't know. I'll have to see. You know, I think most of my friends are kind of skeptical about trying anything
that you make.
Yeah.
Oh man, well, that's too bad. So what do you think is your favorite Chinese food out there?
I would say street food, but I would have to go with Sichuan as my first selection. You know,
so you like the spicy stuff?
Well, at first, you know, it was a little hard on the stomach, but over time, you know, you adapt. Yeah. And it's quite good. You know, there's this I don't know what it's called, but it makes your mouth numb, your tongue numb. But yeah, they said it's Sichuan spices. But yeah, it's absolutely delicious.
It's good stuff.
Good stuff.
All right, great. Last question for you, Chess. If you had a foreign friend coming to China for the first time, what advice would you give them?
Well, being that I've been interested in Chinese culture even before coming here, I don't think that you can really appreciate China if you just stay in the city. I mean, you know, there's a lot to see in the city. There's a lot to experience, the nightlife, the restaurants, the international community. But I think it's not the entire story of China. So I would suggest to him or her to venture out, you know, get on a bus, you know, get lost and just, you know, leave and go to the mountains, go to the seaside towns, you know, go to some of the historical locations, some of the gardens, but, you know, also pick up a book and read about the history, because if you go to, you know, some of these cities like Suzhou or Hangzhou and you don't know the history behind it, I don't think you can really appreciate it. So yeah, I would definitely tell them to spend just as much time outside the city as they can.
Okay, so get out.
Get out.
Okay.
Get out, experience China, you
Cool.
know, and, you know, hopefully when you return, you know, you can bring more people.
Yeah. All right, any other kind of advice?
Any other kind of advice? Absolutely. Language is key. I think it was Napoleon that said that language is you know, a person's culture. It's just as important as the culture.
Okay.
And to communicate, you know, to really understand the Chinese people, if you have the time, you know, learn the language, because it will be very helpful. And I think the Chinese people will appreciate, you know, the fact that you're trying to learn and
Can you
understand them better.
speak Chinese?
Well, I've only been here for 2 months, but I've heard that I picked up a few words. So.
Okay, good. All right, well, Chess, thank you so much for coming today, and for all of you out there, keep listening to the KAIEN Show.
KAIEN, the experts in spoken English, helps you to better understand Western culture and customs.